Hi students, this is my seventh lecture on microwave waveguides. In the last lecture we have started transverse magnetic mode of analysis. In that I have calculated the expression for Ez, I mean the solution for Ez in terms of C1, C2, C3, C4 arbitrary constants and also sine and cos functions in terms of capital A and capital B, they are also constants. Here we need to simplify that. Okay, that means we have to eliminate the constants C1, C2, C3, C4. Along with that, we need to even find out the values of A and B, and that can be done by using the boundary conditions. Okay, here the boundary conditions will always get only from the walls of the waveguide. Okay, what are these walls of the waveguide and how can we take the boundary conditions and how can we substitute these boundary conditions and get the final solution for Ez in the transverse magnetic mode of analysis. As we know very well that for transverse magnetic mode of analysis, the expression Hz will be 0 and we need to find out the solution for Ez. Okay, so first let us assume that the rectangular waveguide is kept in the direction of Z. Okay, that is, let us take X is the x-axis direction. Okay, it's a three-dimensional one, and here we should take y and z should be in this direction. Okay, because it's a three-dimensional, I cannot able to show this particular rectangular waveguide here. That's the reason I have represented which is like going into it, but it is the one which is coming towards us. So imagine a rectangular waveguide which is exactly in the z direction, where the wave is entering from this direction and will be coming out, let's say, from this direction, because this particular phase will be exactly the end of z direction, and from there the wave enters and from this direction the wave will be coming out. Okay, so this is how we actually starts. Now if you observe this rectangular waveguide, okay, so this particular, it will have basically six phases. One is this entrance where the wave is coming, and this is the one which is coming out. So these two are open and remaining four will be closed one. Okay, so I'll be considering this is the bottom wall. Okay, so this I will be calling it as bottom wall. Okay, and this particular one we are calling it as top wall. This is called top wall. Okay, and this one we are calling it as left side wall, and this side we call it as right side wall. So it is like a, I said already, matchbox, where this particular one is top and this particular one is bottom, and this is left side and this is right side. Okay, so this is what will generally, okay, a rectangular waveguide is. Just for convenience I am deleting all. Okay, so this one is top and this one is bottom and this is left and this is right. Okay, so these are the four walls which I am going to use it for finding the boundary conditions. Okay, now since the entire surface of a rectangular waveguide acts like a short circuit or ground for the electric field, Ez is equal to 0 all along the walls of the waveguide. This is a condition that we have to take while finding out or while applying these four walls in the expression Ez. Okay, it means that why this Ez is 0, because this rectangular waveguide is kept in the direction of Z, Okay, this is kept in the direction of z. If you assume, okay, this will be your z direction, that means while the wave is propagating inside the rectangular waveguide, that z component of E will be a tangential component. That z component will be a tangential component, and in the boundary condition and inside the waveguide we have actually filled it with some dielectric material. So any wall which is upper top wall or bottom wall or left side or right side will be acting like an interface from dielectric to conductor interface. Okay, for the dielectric to conductor interface, we know very well that the expression for the boundary conditions are E tan 1 is equal to E tan 2, where E tan 2 will be 0 and E tan 1 will also become 0. Okay, because the tangential component in that z direction is Ez, and that Ez here will be assumed to be 0. There will be other components, like other component is Ex, which will also become 0, but here we don't consider that Ex because our expression for transverse magnetic mode of analysis requires only Ez, because we have got the expression for Ez, and that Ez at all the four boundaries will be considering it as 0. This is the basic condition that we have to take while applying these boundary conditions, and while to eliminate the C1, C2, C3, C4 we need to go for that. Okay, the expression for Ez which is shown here, as we know that already, it is C1 cos Bx plus C2 sin Bx into C3 cos Ay plus C4 sin Ay. Okay, and let us start with the first boundary condition, and that first boundary condition is a bottom wall. Okay, let us go to the bottom wall and let us see whether these particular conditions are valid or not. For the bottom wall, I'll be showing here is the condition is Ez is equal to 0 at y equal to 0 and x is varying from 0 to a. Okay, let us see that whether it is right or wrong. Okay, I said this is a bottom wall. Okay, this is a bottom wall. Okay, and at bottom wall it is very clear that this x is varying from 0 to a. Okay, for this bottom wall, because x here is 0 and from here to here till this end it is varying from 0 to a, and because that plane is in xz plane and y value will be 0, because at this particular point, that bottom wall, y is increasing in upward direction, so y value will be 0. So for the bottom wall, it's very clear that y is equal to 0 and x is ranging from 0 to a. At the same time, let us try to see what is the second boundary condition. For the second boundary condition, Ez is absolutely 0, and for that x equal to 0 and y is ranging from 0 to b, and that second boundary condition we are taking it for left side wall. Okay, let's see that what is x and what is y for left side wall. Okay, this is a left side wall. Okay, whatever is I am darkening is a left side wall. Okay, so this is a left side wall. For this, y is ranging from 0 to b, like this. Y is ranging from 0 to b. And what is the value of x here? Because x is increasing in this direction, x for this particular case, for this left side wall is 0. That means x equal to 0 and y is ranging from 0 to b is the second boundary condition, which is left side wall. And third boundary condition that we are taking is for the top wall. For the top wall, it is y equal to b and x is ranging from 0 to a. Let's see that. Okay, so this is our top wall. Okay, and this is absolutely fixed at y equal to b. Okay, here because it is at y equal to b, okay, and this everything is the top wall, and x is absolutely ranging from 0 to a, just like bottom wall. X is in both the cases ranging from 0 to a, but bottom wall y is 0 and for the top wall y is equal to b. Okay, that's what is clearly mentioned here. That's what is clearly mentioned. Y equal to b and x is ranging from 0 to a. And for the last one, which is a right side wall, x is fixed at a and y is ranging from 0 to b. Okay, that also we'll try to see. For the right side wall, this is our right side wall. I'll show you. Okay, this is our right side wall, which I am indicating is a right side wall. And this is absolutely fixed at a, which is a y value, sorry, which is an x value, and this value will be always ranging from 0 to b. Y is ranging from 0 to b. Okay, so x is fixed at a and y is ranging from 0 to b. This is the fourth boundary condition. So x is fixed at a and y is ranging from 0 to b. Once we understood the conditions of four boundaries, now apply the boundary one by one. Okay, first I'll be applying the first boundary condition, which is a bottom wall, where Ez will be 0 and y equal to 0. We don't apply the boundary condition which is varying here, x is ranging from 0 to a, because we don't know what value is for x. It is ranging from 0 to a. A will be generally 2.54 centimeters, but we don't know where exactly we have to take that x. So that's the reason we don't generally take x value. We have to substitute y equal to 0 and ez equal to 0 in the expression of ez. Okay, this is our expression for ez. Now apply the first boundary condition here in ez, and what ez from the first condition here is 0, and also substitute y equal to 0. Okay, the condition here is y equal to 0, x is ranging from 0 to a. Once you substitute y equal to 0, this sin ay will become 0 and this cos ay will become 1. So once this will become 0, this entire term will become 0, and what will be remained is only c1 cos bx plus c2 sin bx into c3, and cos ay is 1. So is equal to 0, but it is exactly in the form of a into b is equal to 0. So what is the meaning of a into b is equal to 0? Either a must be 0 or b must be 0 or both must be 0. Here both cannot be 0. This particular expression cannot be 0, because if this becomes 0, the entire expression ez will become 0. You may get a feeling that, sir, why already ez is 0. So I am not talking about this ez which is in a boundary condition. The overall expression ez itself will become 0 if this expression will become 0. There is no solution for ez if this is going to become 0. That's the reason this cannot be taken equal to 0. The expression which is a constant c3 is equal to 0. That's what is the condition that you will get from the first boundary condition. So substitute this C3 is equal to 0 in this original expression of Ez, in this original expression of Ez. So what happens here is this entire C3 into cos Ay will become 0. What is left is this entire part as well as C4 sin Ay. So after the first boundary condition, C1 cos Bx plus C2 sin Bx, as C3 is 0, what will be remained is only C4 sin Ay. Let us consider that as equation number 1. Now, hope everybody understood. Okay, now I'll be moving to the second boundary condition. The second boundary condition should be applied in equation number 1, because we don't substitute in the original expression of Ez. So once you are solving that step by step, you have to even apply the boundary conditions in the required equation. Substituting the second boundary condition. The second boundary condition is for left side wall. For the left side wall, only this x equal to 0, which will be resulting Ez is equal to 0 or Ez equal to 0 at z x equal to 0. We don't take y is ranging from 0 to b. Now substitute this Ez equal to 0 and x equal to 0 in this equation 1. So what happens here is Ez here will become 0, that Ez will be 0 here, and here x is 0. As x is 0, this sin bx, which is c2, will become 0. That is c2 into sin bx overall will be 0. What is remained is c1 cos bx into c4 sin ay. That is Yeah, cos bx will also become 1 because x is equal to 0, cos 0 is 1, and what is remained is c1 c4 sin ay, which is equal to 0. But in this, it is again like ab equal to 0 or abc is equal to 0. Same thing. In this, which one will be 0? Sin ay cannot be 0. That's what is shown here. And c4 also cannot be 0, because if c4 0, the overall expression will become 0. That's the reason don't take c4 is equal to 0. So there will be another constant, which is c1. C1 should be 0. So in this c1 c4 sin ay, only c1 must be 0 and c4 and sin ay cannot become equal to 0. If they become 0, the overall expression for ez will be 0. So substitute this c1 in equation 1, c1 equal to 0 in equation 1, then this c1 cos bx will become 0, and what will be remained is c2 sin bx and c4 sin ay, and this is what you will be getting after the second boundary condition. So the solution further reduces to c2 c4 sin bx and sin ay. So one thing you have to remember after applying the second boundary condition is you have to get two sign terms for transverse magnetic mode of analysis. For the same way, for transverse electric mode of analysis, you have to get cos terms. Okay, this is a simple difference that you have to understand. Now apply the third boundary condition, which is the top surface or top face of the rectangular waveguide. For the top face, it's very clear that y is fixed at b and x is ranging from 0 to a. At that, ez is 0. So substitute in the second equation, ez is equal to 0 and y is equal to b. Then what happens to this equation is ez here will become 0, c2 c4 sin bx will be as it is, and sin ay, there y is b, and that will become sin ab. Okay, so now the equation here will be c2 c4 sin bx sin ab. Out of this, sin bx cannot be 0, c4 cannot be 0, c2 cannot. The constant will never become 0 here. They will be having the values. Okay, I'll give you what will be the overall value of c2 c4 at the end. I'll tell you. And here the only variable, which is sin AB, will be equal to 0. So what happens when sine of a function is equal to 0? Sin theta or sin phi, when it is equal to 0, that phi or theta is equal to sine inverse of 0, you will be getting plus or minus n pi, where n is an integer ranging from 0, 1, 2, like that. So here also AB is equal to sine inverse of 0, but we take only the positive value because that a is a constant, which is a positive integer. So we will be always taking it as n pi by b. What is this n, which is an integer? What is this b? Okay, b is the what we call width of the rectangular waveguide. Okay, so we'll be seeing that, and what is the exact value of this integer n? Okay, we'll be seeing later. So once you get this a, which is n pi by b, now I'll be substituting the last boundary conditions in the expression, which is substituting the fourth boundary condition, which is x equal to a, where ez is equal to 0. So c2 c4 sin ba, in place of sin ay, if you want, you can substitute sin n pi by b into y also, or else you can keep sin ay as it is. Okay, so sin ay here will not be equal to 0, c2 will not be equal to 0, c4 will not be equal to 0, and sin ba will be equal to 0. Okay, here again same thing, ba is equal to plus or minus m pi. In place of n, here we will be taking m, because that is also an integer starting from 0, 1, 2, like that, and b is equal to m pi by a will be the expression that we will be getting, where m is again an integer. Now the complete solution is in c2 c4, because we have already seen that c1 c3 have become 0. In this c2 c4, after the second boundary condition, it's very clear that c2 c4 will be as it is, and a is n pi by b and b is m pi by a. Now the solution will become C2 C4 into sine bx. In place of b we have got it as m pi by a into x, and sine n pi by b into y, which is a sine ay. Okay, there a equal to n pi by b, and as it is a solution, the wave is exponentially reducing in the direction of z. We should even multiply with e power minus gamma z. As it is a time varying function, you have to even write e power j omega t, and this will be the complete solution of transverse magnetic mode of operation. There C2 C4 both are constants. You can simply replace it with some other constant c. Okay, some other constant c. Okay, where e power minus gamma z is a wave propagating in the positive z direction, and e power j omega t is a sinusoidal variation with respective time. This Ez, which is a solution of transverse magnetic mode of operation, once we know this Ez, we can able to find out Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy, which we have calculated in the lecture 5 in terms of Ez and Hz. I'll be writing now. I told you one simple procedure to remember this Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy. Okay, by using that you can write this Ex as minus gamma by h square dou Ez by dou x minus j omega mu naught by h square dou hz by dou y. But in the transverse magnetic mode, it's very clear that hz is 0. Once hz is 0, this entire term will become equal to 0. Only the second term will be getting cancelled or become 0, and minus gamma by h square into dou Ez by dou x will be remained, and that Ex which we know you substitute here, which will become Ex is equal to minus gamma by h square into dou Ez by dou x, where Ez is c into sine m pi by ax into sine n pi by b into y into e power minus gamma z e power j omega t. If you observe, as we are differentiating with respect to x, there is only sine m pi by a into x is depending on x. All other terms will be independent of x. You just bring them out. Bring them out means minus gamma by h square into c into sine n pi by b into y e power minus gamma z e power j omega t. They all will be brought out of differentiation, and differentiate with respect to x. This sine m pi by a into x will become m pi by a into cos m pi by a into x. That's what is only the difference. Cos m pi by a into x into m pi by a, remaining everything will be written as it is. That's what is the expression for Ex. And similarly, the Ey expression will also become, it is minus gamma by h square dou Ez by dou y. Here it is, I have not written the h component, and exactly this will become minus gamma by h square dou Ez by dou y plus j omega mu naught by h square into dou hz by dou x. Here it will be y and that will be x. Okay, so now anyway the second term which I have not written will be 0, because for transverse magnetic mode of propagation that term will be 0, and what you have to do is just put this value of Ez there. Okay, so the original Ez is c into c into sine m pi by a into x into sine n pi by b into y into e power minus gamma z into e power j omega t. But here, as the differentiation is with respect to y, only this y term will be differentiated. That sine of n pi by b into y will become cos of n pi by b into y and into n pi by b, and this will be sine term, and minus c into gamma by h square into e power minus gamma z e power j omega t will be as it is. Okay, in the previous case that sine n pi by a into x will become cos. Here cos n pi, sine n pi by b into y will become cos. Okay, next we have got Ex, Ey, and next we'll be moving on to Hx expression. That Hx is minus gamma by h square dou hx dou hz by dou x plus j omega epsilon naught by h square into dou ez by dou y. For transverse magnetic mode of operation, this term will become 0. Only this term will be existing. So if you substitute here, and this is with respect to y, same as the ey expression, this sine of n pi by b into y will become cos, and n pi by b will be getting extra. But in place of minus gamma by h square in the previous case, we will be getting j omega epsilon naught by h square will be getting here, and remaining everything is same. So no need to remember this kind of expressions. Just remember this and also remember the solution of Ez and differentiate it. Okay, you can obviously get the answer. And finally, the hy will be exactly similar, minus gamma by h square into dou hz by dou y. This term will become 0 because hz is 0. And here in place of plus, you have minus j omega epsilon naught by h square into dou Ez by dou x, as it is differentiation with respect to x. Sin m pi by a into x will become cos m pi by a into x and m pi by a, and this terms will be as it is. And this is the expression for hy. If possible, try to write all these expressions at one place and try to remember, because you may not get problems on these kind of formulae in engineering, but in GATE 100% you will get one question which is a 2 marks question. If you remember these, then only you can able to answer them. Okay, that's the end of transverse magnetic mode of analysis. We have got field equations, we have got the expression for Ez in terms of constant, and in this expression we have completely eliminated the constants, and also we have got the expressions for so A and B also. That's the end of the lecture. Thank you.